It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, the 26th of October, 2019. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the English edition of Ora News. My name is Oliver, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news, translated into English. Well, making headlines tonight after 14 months of no speaking to one another, Edi Rama and Albin Kurti took 5 hours to discuss and to clarify the disagreements between each other. Kurti, the winner of the recent election in Kosovo, speaking as the future prime minister, said that for the benefit of Albanians, the Albania-Kosovo cooperation will continue despite the change in policy by the head of the Albanian government. Kurti declared that there would be soon a joint meeting between the Tirana-Pristina governments. Albin Kurti urged Hashim Thaçi to give him the mandate to form the new Kosovo government after certifying the results. And after the mandate is given, the new prime minister will remove the president from leading the Pristina-Belgrade dialogue. Albin Kurti will indicate talks with Serbia, starting with the abolition of the customs tax on Serbian goods. The chair of the Vetëvendosje movement also had an appeal for the European Union, stating, "Apart from the stability in our neighborhood that our region really needs and the integration into the EU, this should change not only the region but also the EU, because the Western Balkans and the European Union are very important to each other. Within our countries, we must fight to make it better. It is therefore necessary to stand together in the fight against poverty, injustice, and inequality," said Kurti. Meanwhile, for the mini Schengen initiated by Vučić and Zaev, Kurti said he will take a look at the project, but so far it is only an idea. And moving on to our next story, state officials have not yet reached an agreement on the composition of the government in Kosovo. Vjosa Osmani, the Democratic League of Kosovo's candidate for prime minister, says it's not important what position she holds, rather, but that the parties, according to her, should have equal input at the table. It is important that the Vetëvendosje movement understands that this will be a partnership between equals. It will be a partnership in trust, and neither party can behave as if it required 2/3 and can treat the other party as an accessory. If we have such an understanding that this is really a partnership between equals, then I believe we will not have major obstacles in reaching a co-governance agreement. Once that agreement is reached, we will have a much easier time looking at how our priorities for Kosovo can be achieved. So I'll be where my country can help the most, said Osmani. Osmani has emphasized that the deadline for reaching a final agreement between Serbia and Kosovo is in March of 2020, and if it cannot be achieved by this time, then other agreements on technical issues can be reached. I do not believe that the final agreement in the current situation can be done by March of 2020, but I do see that agreements on specific issues of more technical detail can probably be made because they can then affect the final agreement. But I would say that the dialogue we have until March of 2020 can address the issues of the implementation of existing agreements. It can address issues related to economic development, the elimination of barriers to free movement, and trade issues. However, the final agreement requires more time, it requires more dedication, and of course, it requires that the Serbian government accept the current reality, which it does not at the present, said Osmani. However, the Vetëvendosje movement and the Democratic League of Kosovo agree on the taxation on Serbian goods. Osmani stated that the issue will be treated in the context of measures of reciprocity based on international law. And next up, the president of North Macedonia, Stevo Pendarovski, paid an official visit to Tirana today while meeting with President Ilir Meta. At a joint press conference, the president said that the only alternative for their countries is to work on a path to join the European Union. Pendarovski responded to the media's interest as to whether or not it was Albania that held Northern Macedonia's integration path hostage. The process of separating the two states has never been part of my political vocabulary because I think that the two states should start negotiations. We spent a lot of time convincing our friends that it is not a full membership, but rather the first steps of a process that will go on for years. This is an undeserved punishment for the whole region. The region must not be forgotten. From Tirana, the president of Northern Macedonia proposed holding a summit with the Western Balkan states to discuss the enlargement of the European Union. We agreed that our obligation as heads of state is to encourage all political actors in our countries to continue with the obligations set by the European agenda and to persuade European leaders that negotiations with countries are an investment in stability and in prosperity. In this context, I propose that the Western Balkan countries hold an extraordinary summit where we will discuss bilateral relations and other alternatives to improve ties. Meanwhile, President Ilir Meta praised the move as showing political maturity and upholding democracy. The fact that North Macedonia chose to go to snap elections seems to be sending a message to the Albanian government. In the meantime, President Ilir Meta called on all politicians to reflect on the conditions set by the German Bundestag. And next up, border police have detained more than 18 Greek nationals at the Kakavia border crossing as they attempted to enter Albanian territory for a commemoration ceremony in the village of Bularati on the first anniversary of the murder of the young Konstantin Kasifas. Since yesterday, there has been an increase of police controls at the border crossings in the south of the country after reports that non-grata individuals were also attempting to enter Albania. During the last 24 hours, over 1,800 Greek citizens have entered the city of Gjirokastër, while 18 of them have already returned home. Additional police measures have been also set up at the border crossing points in Saranda after the extremist Babis Karathanos was declared non grata and prevented from entering the country. He called on 16 Greek minority associations to have as many Greeks as possible present in Albania on October 26th. A year ago, Karathanos was declared non grata following an incident marking the burial of Kasifas, who was killed a year ago by Renea Special Forces after firing a gun in the village of Bularat and exchanging gunfire with police officers. And finally tonight, Albania is one of the first countries in the region, and in all of Europe even, to prepare a draft law on virtual currencies. The draft on financial markets based on distributed registry technology sets out measures and penalties to regulate this market. The draft law also addresses a number of potential risks, such as the creation of fraudulent schemes or the risk of using virtual assets to launder money, including market manipulation. The draft also provides for the imposition of severe administrative and penal sanctions in cases of abuse ranging from 12 million lek to 18 million lek as an administrative fine and a referral to the penal code in the case of penal offenses. It also provides for the prohibition of third-party custodian activity without authorization and gives exclusive authority to block the accounts for anyone suspected of committing fraud or abuse within the market. The capital requires to open a stock exchange varies from 20 million to 90 million lek depending on the type of stock exchange license. According to the regulation of this market in Albania aims to radically change the structure of remittance operations. With an inflow of 1.2 billion euros in 2018, remittances remain one of the major contributions in the country's economic development, surpassing the inflow of foreign direct investment. On the other hand, a Bank of Albania studies has noted that the costs associated with sending remittances range from 5 to 24% of the total amount sent, with an average of 8.64%, thus making the majority of remittances transferred informally. Currently, the global virtual asset market amounts to approximately 130 billion in capitalization terms and includes about 2,000 different virtual assets. As in most countries, the activity associated with virtual assets is unregulated, and ESMA has expressed its concerns about numerous fraud cases through the insurance and trading of these virtual assets. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you so much for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Ora News, thank you and have a good weekend.